While I got pulled over by a cop, he said, "Wouldn't you rather drive straight to the hospital? Is this some sort of joke?" I asked when the officer said those strange words instead of asking for license and registration. The cop handed back my license that I'd already pulled out. His face had changed from stern authority to something softer and sadder. "I just got radioed in about what happened. I'm terribly sorry for your loss, sir." Before I could ask what loss, he was already jogging back to his patrol car. He turned on his lights again, but this time pulled in front of me and blocked traffic so I could merge left immediately. Other cars moved aside as he created a clear path for me to speed ahead. I sat there frozen for a moment before pressing the gas. My hands were trembling on the steering wheel as I tried to process what just happened. The cop knew something I didn't. Something bad enough that he'd let me go without even a warning about my speed. I fumbled for my phone while keeping one eye on the road. I just landed at LAX an hour ago after a 3-day business trip to Seattle. My wife Carly hadn't answered when I called from baggage claim, but that wasn't unusual. She often had her phone on silent while teaching her kindergarten class. I called her again, straight to voicemail. I tried our home phone, nothing. My chest started feeling tight as I scrolled to her sister's number. Voicemail. Her mom. Voicemail. My mom. No answer. The highway stretched ahead of me, but I wasn't really seeing it anymore. My mind was racing through possibilities. Car accident. House fire. Something at her school. Each scenario worse than the last. The cop had said loss. That word kept echoing in my head. Finally, I called my brother Harvey. It rang 4 times before his wife Paulina answered. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. "How can she do this? I don't understand why she would do this." Paulina kept repeating between sobs. "What happened? Where's Carly? Is she okay?" I was practically shouting into the phone. Paulina just cried harder. I heard Harvey's voice in the background telling her to give him the phone. There was shuffling and muffled voices before the line went dead. I called back 3 times, but no one answered. I was doing 90 now, weaving between cars. Other drivers honked, but I didn't care. Something had happened to my wife, and no one would tell me what. The exit was coming up, and I took it without signaling. I knew that's where they'd take her. It was the closest trauma center to her school. The hospital parking lot was a maze, but I abandoned my car in the first spot I saw. Legal or not, I didn't care. I ran through the sliding doors into the emergency room lobby. The smell of disinfectant and fear hit me immediately. I'm looking for my wife, Carly Munoz. She was brought here. I didn't even know when or why. The nurse at the desk typed something into her computer. When she looked back up at me, her eyes were watery. She knew who I was before I'd even given my name. "The security guard will escort you." Her voice was barely a whisper. A large man in a blue uniform appeared and gestured for me to follow. We walked through endless hallways, past rooms full of beeping machines and worried families. My legs felt like they might give out, but I kept moving. The guard didn't say a word, just kept glancing at me with that same sad look everyone seemed to have. We took an elevator to the 3rd floor. Pediatric ICU, the sign said. Why were we in pediatrics if Carly was hurt? My brain couldn't make sense of it. The guard led me down another hallway where I could hear crying. Multiple people sobbing behind a closed door. I recognized voices as we got closer. Harvey, Paulina, Carly's parents, my mom. All of them were here, and no one had answered their phones because they were already at the hospital. The guard opened the door, and the crying stopped for a moment as everyone turned to look at me. The room was full of family members I'd just been trying to call. Their faces were red and swollen from tears. Harvey stood up and walked toward me, but I pushed past him. I needed to see Carly. Needed to know she was okay, even though everyone's presence here told me she wasn't. As I turned the corner into the room proper, my knees buckled. There were 3 beds, 3 bodies covered in white sheets, 2 adult-sized forms, and 1 tiny one that couldn't have been more than 3 feet long. A child. Full story on channel linked below.